Welcome to Vibe Querying with MCP, the show where we don't just query data, we vibe with it. I'm Jared, the one asking, how does it work?
And I'm Marie, the one asking, what does it mean for business? But before we dive in today, and since this is our very first episode, we want to do more of an explanation of what you, our audience, can expect.
That's right. And so it all starts with Model Context Protocol, or MCP for short. Model Context Protocol is a standard protocol that's designed to connect the AI models that we're all using to do everything anyway to the external data sources that we use for business, for personal life. And it makes that connection securely and efficiently. MCP is going to enable AI to access real-time business data, real-time tools, and workflows. It's going to allow users to interact naturally with their data using conversations with AI tools and clients.
And the way to use MCP to connect your favorite LLM to your work data is with CData MCP servers. So we released this in beta last week, and this is what we're going to be using today and all the episodes going forward. And what a CData MCP server is it's the MCP protocol combined with CData's connector library of 350 sources. And it finally gives AIs that access to the business data that we need to make them really useful at work. So it's everything you love about Claude and ChatGPT with the internet, but now based on your work data.
Exactly. And that brings us to this concept of vibe querying. Vibe querying, like vibe coding, is a way to use natural language instructions with an AI to explore your data. What used to take intimate knowledge of your data schema, pre-built data pipelines, familiarity with SQL or other query languages, APIs, all of that can now be done with your favorite LLM and CData's MCP servers.
And that's what we're going to show you with this content series. Every episode will dive into real data from real sources to uncover insight stories, maybe a few surprises, with the goal of showing you how you can use those MCP servers in your everyday work life. So let's get querying.
Today's episode is titled Vibing with Sales and Marketing Data, and it's all about exploring what's driving a business, what we're seeing in web traffic, in sales and opportunities. We're going to be asking for answers from Salesforce and Google Analytics data, taking the point of view of a very motivated product marketer. And our special guest on today's episode is Marie.
It's me. I love
That's
being a
right.
special guest on my own
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Great.
it's really convenient. Scheduling was a lot easier. We're going to jump into our vibe querying project. And then in the search and the tools, you can see all of the MCP servers that you have available. I've got my demo G sheets turned off. If you've joined us for any of the office hours, you'll see that one at play. If you haven't, you should. I walk through the full installation process with a sample sheet that you can play with along with me. But we've got our Google Analytics and our Salesforce connections already configured. And I'm going to dip in here real quick. So if you've explored MCP servers, you'll know that there are tools available for the clients to use. We create a pretty short list of tools, and we're able to do that because for the better part of a decade, over a decade, we've been building tabular models for different data sources. And since we make everything look like a database, the number of tools that we have to expose is pretty small. And then because LLMs understand databases, they can just ask questions and figure out how to find those answers. So I think that it's time to do that. So
Let's
looking
do it.
at Google Analytics and Salesforce, Marie, what's your first question?
Yeah. So my goal with what we're going to be asking Claude today is to figure out what kind of traffic or web traffic is someone looking at if they are going to be a successful deal for us. So it's a very business oriented use case, but basically what I want to find out is, of the business we've closed in the past month for a certain product line, do they go to any particular pages on the website? Where are they coming from? How are they finding this? And this is a question that you will continually ask in your career if you're a marketer. So let's start there. And let's start with, just asking Claude, what have we closed in the past month? What total deals have we closed as a starting point?
All right. So vibe querying at its finest. I'm not telling it where to look. I don't, what is a deal? I don't know. Okay. So it's going to Google Analytics first. That's interesting. Just vibing away. We'll see. Yep.
Claude.
Okay. Guess I didn't find what it wanted. So now it's going to go to Salesforce. And this is actually this is what's really exciting about this concept of vibe querying is that you asked a very basic question and Claude is using its own knowledge about the entirety of existence coupled with the context that we provide through our MCP servers to ask more pointed questions and then deliver some information. So closed deals in the last month. So we've got, a number of different deals by business type, business wins. Oh, it jumped on me. There we go. So yeah, different, some obfuscated company names and deal sizes, but the proportions are all there. Anything standing out? Anywhere you want me to pause yet? Keep going.
These are some good examples for us to keep in mind that I might come back to. But if we go down to product popularity,
Yeah.
what I'm curious about, and as a marketer that manages multiple product lines, where did the majority of our new business come from? And it has our top 6 here in terms of, everything across our portfolio. Well, what I'm really interested in is our sync product line. So if we could ask Claude to be more specific on the sync deals that closed in the last month. And so for folks that are listening, and especially again, if you're in the marketing world, you're probably familiar with Salesforce and how to do some basic reporting and some basic object structure in Salesforce. But kind of once you start doing cross-object joins and cross-object reporting, it gets more challenging and kind of out of the realm of, I think, what a standard marketer would be able to do. And then, for someone like myself, I have to start talking to Sean and our marketing ops team or our core, BI team or data analytics team to start getting some of the information I want. But it looks like Claude was able to correlate from the type of product that I'm looking for to opportunities to find the top deals for this product, which I think is great. So it looks like it's doing
cool. Yeah, lots of information in here. And I think what was cool is that it didn't have to use any of our tools. So it must be holding some information or storing those results somewhere somewhat locally to speed things up. But yeah, different use cases, expansions, cloud deployment, CRMs, SQL integration, renewals. So that's cool. People coming back.
Could we ask Claude, Jared, for a breakdown? Let's see if we could do a percentage breakdown of renewal versus, well, I guess let's do new logo versus expansion or renewal.
Okay.
Let's see.
Percentage breakdown. You want to see if it can slice it a little bit tighter than that, maybe by industry?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's see.
This is all about the vibe. That vibe.
Versus expansion by industry. I don't know. Seems could be interesting. So there we go. Again, yeah. So I think it must have asked a really good question of our Salesforce data very early on, because it's just using what it has now based on that. So different industries are seeing more new logos in the technology sector, significantly more expansion in the healthcare sector, expansion, education, government and public sector.
Well,
all right, and then cool. So no, it's not just listing, but right, this is vibe querying. We're also going to get some insights based on what we're looking at. So
government expansion, technology, professional services, new logo. That's great. So let's keep digging into the new logo piece. So I wonder if we could ask Claude for technology and professional services sectors, since they're leading a new logo acquisition, where are those customers coming from? And so trying to get it to start analyzing some Google Analytics data in conjunction with what it knows about Salesforce. And again, for marketers out there, Google Analytics is certainly something that you need familiarity with to be able to report out of effectively. And so I'm excited to see what Claude can do here to bridge that gap for me.
All right. So in the dry runs for this, Claude had a tendency to try to go after web traffic when you, or like the World Wide Web, when you asked about web traffic patterns. So I'm just going to clarify quite a little bit here that I want them to look in Google Analytics. So here we go. So we're going after Google Analytics data. And so I'm going to pause right here. So it's getting tables. This question is giving us a lot of information that about what's available in Google Analytics 4 that is pretty obscure in its naming, even though it's using like normal web analytics verbiage. I don't know about you, Marie, but every time I'm in Google Analytics, I feel like I'm there for the first time, like trying to drill in and figure out what I need. And what's cool about coupling an LLM with the tabular model of different sources that we support is that idea that we've talked about already, that it just can kind of explore and find answers. There've been a couple of times up in the top right here, you've seen some error messages pop up. Just means Claude's asking the wrong question. But what's really cool is that it tries again and it does something different to try to get the right answer. So anyway, so what do we got? Site traffic, technology, and professional services. Oh, so it even split those out for us. That's cool.
Oh, thanks, Claude.
Bob away, Claude.
Let's see. So it's got session duration, pages per session. Interesting.
Bounce rate.
Looks like technology slightly better than professional services. Oh, here we go. Breakdown.
Oh yeah, traffic source breakdown. So there we go. So technology sector, organic is 41%, Google's 36, direct. Oh, this is organic search total. Okay, yep, got it. All right. Direct, paid, referral, GitHub. Hey,
There you go.
wonder if that has anything to do with the GitHub repos for open source MCP servers that are built on top of our JDBC drivers.
So
Maybe.
certain that it does. Somebody must have written that really nicely.
Yeah.
All right, social media breakdown.
Services, same thing.
Similar.
Yeah. So, oh, most visited pages.
It is.
Yep. Technical blog. Yep. This all tracks.
Interesting. They do vary. Look, because there's a contact
Yeah.
demo for professional services that tech doesn't have.
Yeah, interesting.
So it seems like professional service folks like to get demos.
Yeah, and developers don't.
Yeah. Interesting.
Device usage. That tracks.
Peak times. Wow.
This
I
is
really
a
want
lot
to on this one.
Yeah. It's a lot of data here. That's cool. Just one simple question. And it pulled in some interesting patterns and behaviors.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
No. A+, Claude.
We
Great
got
job.
one more question, or I'm gonna wrap it up.
Oh boy. Let's take technology services a step further and let's see. Do you think you could give us the URLs of the top 10 pages that they visit?
It's the URLs for the top 10 10 pages visited by what's these customers. Be as vague as possible.
There we go.
There it is. It did it.
Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, so what I would do as a marketer is I would take these pages and I would look at them and see, if these are our best converting pages for these individual audience and these are our best converting deals, how do we make these pages even better?
Yeah.
I think that is the pattern that we all look for, right, every day. And trying to go through that thread of, pull the Salesforce data, understand the product line, take that product line, cross-reference it with web traffic data from Google Analytics, like that would take me a whole day easily.
Yeah.
Or it would take several reporting requests and, the ops team to help me kind of pull all of that together. And so that's super helpful. And I have something that I can use out of this conversation with Claude to go improve the business. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think the other point that we can make here is if we go back up, I'm going to give everybody motion sickness here. So you talked about involving ops, data ops. What's cool is that in the back end, Claude is just generating a SQL query. And so you could take this query and give it to your data ops person, and they could build a pipeline that then channels this data set into a warehouse. So now you've got like a continuous pipeline built on this extremely valuable data set that's giving you insights that you can, continuously, query, report on, visualize in whatever fashion makes sense for you. But because we're just in Claude and we're just vibe querying. We're not involving IT at all. If a query doesn't work, if there's an answer that isn't helpful, then you can just kind of ignore it. You don't have, you don't have IT teams spending all of their time building pipelines that don't mean anything in the future. And I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, because I always have a ton of questions, as you go about your business on any given day, and you're like, well, that would be really interesting to know the answer, but it doesn't quite raise to the bar for me to go ask someone to spend time on it.
Yeah.
And now we can do it. So this is why vibe querying is so great. And this is why we are putting together this content series for all of the folks. And I think that, Claude did its job today. Again, gets a gold star. I think that is a wrap on our very first episode of Vibe Querying with MCP. So huge thanks to you, Jared, as always, and thanks to everyone who sat through this episode.
Yeah, thanks for being our subject matter expert special guest, Marie.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah. So if you want the opportunity to vibe query outside of the vibe querying videos that we're putting together, you can download any of our free MCP servers. They're free for the rest of the year in beta. cdata.com/solutions/MCP is where you will find those. So give one a try, download it. Join us for the office hours for installation help if you need it.
And you can also come hang with us in something I'm very excited about, which is our Vibe Querying subreddit or on the CData community. So you can talk about queries, insights, and all things data, how to make Claude your work bestie any day of the week on those places.
I love it. Yeah. So until next time, we hope that you stay curious and keep vibing.